Welcome everybody to this installment of CNC WorkBench. This installment is about investigating array copy, two-sided machining, and how to create a folding box for our project, the router bit storage box. In this episode today, we will be talking about array copy, two-sided machining, finishing, project toolpathing. So sit back, enjoy yourself as we go to the shop to talk about tools and machining our project. I would like to thank our sponsors, KenCraft Company, the Woodworkers Candy Store, Next Wave Automation, the makers of the Shark and Piranha CNC machines, Crystalac Finishes, and Silverback Woodworking. Make sure you support all of these fine folks because they are the ones that make this possible. Now on with our project. Welcome everybody to this installment of CNC WorkBench. This installment is about investigating array copy, two-sided machining, and how to create a folding box for our project, which will be the router bit storage box. In this episode today, we will be talking about array copy, two-sided machining, creating, machining, and assembly of our finished project. So sit back, enjoy yourself, and as we go to the shop to talk about creating and machining our project, I would like to thank our sponsors, KenCraft Company, the Woodworkers Candy Store, Next Wave Automation, the makers of the Shark and Piranha CNC machines, and Crystalac Finishes and Silverback Woodworking. So here we go. Now, the first thing we have to do is obviously open our software, and we are going to do on this first one a double-sided project. The width is 23 inches, the height is 22 inches, and the thickness is a ½ an inch. The material surface is where we're going to do our Z positioning from, and we're going to take our XY datum position from the middle. We are going to flip it from front to back, and everything else is okay. Now, the project that we're working on today is a box, and it's going to be for the folding method that I use, which is a pretty good way to do it. So we need a few dimensions first to start with. So our overall box size is going to be 12 by 5 by 7. So to start out with, let's just make a box that is 12 by 5 by 7. So the width would be 12, the height would be 5, or no, I'm sorry, the height would be 7. We can't show the third dimension here. So here is the basis of our box right here. So this would be the top and the bottom, so we would need two of these. So why don't we copy this and paste it so we have two identical ones, and we'll drag one up here and we'll drag the other one down here. Now we have to have sides for this box, so we will need a side, two sides, and a back. So what was the size of this dimension here? Well, I really don't remember, but you know what? I've got something over here that will help me with that, is the dimension function. And it says it's 7 inches. And just for us guys that don't remember things real well, our other dimension is 12 inches. So I have a couple different ways I could do this. I could attach the sides off in this direction here, off the top, or I could attach the sides to the back, and I'm going to do the sides from the back. So I know my back piece has to be 5 inches tall and 12 inches wide. So I would make a box 12 inches wide and 5 inches tall. So we got 12 by 5. Okay. I also know that my sides have to be 5 inches tall and 7 inches long. So I can put my 5 by 7 out here and make another box. 5 by 7. this 7 and this 5. And we can apply that. And if we want to double that, just copy and paste. I think you're going to see where I'm going to run into a problem here. I don't have enough material to do it this way. I would have to increase the width of my material probably by about 3 inches. Well, my machine can't handle that. So now what do I do? Well, like I said before, I can take these pieces here and rotate them 90. And attach them to either the top or the bottom. Now it'll fit. Because if I take all of these and move them to the center, I have plenty of room. So that's what I'm going to have to do. So let's go ahead and make these all in the center too, so everybody's kind of lined up. Now, here is my basic box. What I need to do is make all of my lines line up perfectly. Snap it to there. Over here, we'll do the same thing. We will snap it. Okay. I got a side, I got a top, I got a side, I got the back, and I got the bottom. So let's bring the back up to where we need it to be. There, we snapped that. Let's bring this one back up to where we need it to be. Okay, now I have all my pieces here. Let's go ahead and center this in our drawing so that everybody's in the same relationship here. I don't think these guys are squared yet. There we go. Okay. Now, we've got everything that we need here. What I'm going to do, since that we have to double side machine this, I am going to take all of these and copy them to the other side. And what that does is give us a copy on the other side. Okay. Now the next thing I have to do with a two-sided machining, and this is one of the things that's a little different about two-sided machining, that you have to index the top to the bottom. And the way you do that is we put guide holes in, basically. So what I would do is put 3/8 guide holes in. And remember, I don't have to be a math whiz. 3 divided by 8 equals 375. Apply that there. And here we go. Bring that down to this corner here. And we'll copy that. And we'll take one up here. Or did I take them both up there? Paste. Okay. Now I can take these two and mirror them to the other side. But I want to flip it about the job center. Now I have 4 holes. That's how it's going to align. Quite honestly, you don't have to have them symmetrical. Doesn't matter, just as long as that they're orientated for both sides. So now I have those holes. These are our alignment holes. Okay. Now the next thing I need to do with this side here is in order to make these two boxes interlock, we need some pieces to interlock them with. So I'm going to make a square down here in this corner, and we're going to make it 1.5 by 1.5. Apply it. Okay. Now we're going to move him into position to where we want him. And I kind of like it right there. Now this is where you can use your array. Come in here and we'll put a gap. In the X direction, we'll start with 7, we'll do with 2 and see what happens. Wow, I like that. That's fantastic. So we'll just leave it there. Okay, did you see how I did that? The 7 is the gap between here and this line here, and the 2 is the gap between here and here. In the rows, I have 2 rows, 1, 2, or 2 columns and 2 rows. That gives me everything. Okay. Now, I can take these, since everything's on the center here, I can mirror those, flip them vertically, and it puts them right up there on the top. They're identical in shape and everything. That's the advantage of making sure everything is on your center. That way when I sit there and tell things to flip about the center or whatever, they come out to where I want them symmetrically. So here we go. We got this side all done. For the very fact, on the top side of this particular one, all we're going to do is machine these here holes in, or they're not holes, they're cavities. So let's flip it over to the other side, and you will notice that, remember, we put all this over there. Now what I have to do is figure out, where do I need my 90-degree bevels to be? So I need a bevel to be right here, or do I? Well, when I fold this up, this is going to be a front edge, so that doesn't have to be beveled. All of this is going to be a front edge, so it does not have to be beveled. The ones that have to be beveled is here, 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 and here. So how are we going to accomplish that? Well, we're going to just do this. Since I already have this up here, I can go over here like this and say, as a straight line. But I don't want that to be beveled there, so I want this one right here. So I can go in here, and what it does is allow me to align with that. Must have not had enough coffee today. Okay, I can align with that. There we go. And take this one this direction. Now that's right on that line. I want that to be a bevel. I also want this one here to be a bevel, so I can go up and carry it all the way down, bevel. I want this side to be a bevel. Carry it up, carry it all the way down, bevel. I need this line to be a bevel. Carry it out, carry it across, bevel. So I have this line is a bevel, this line is a bevel, this line is a bevel, this line is a bevel. I've got 2 more lines to do. This line here and this line here. So we'll go up here. There's going to put a bevel in there. And for our last one, I'm going to put a bevel in there. Okay? So we have all of our lines for bevels. To make this a little bit easier to see, what I will do is make all of these on their own layer. So we will put them on a new layer, move to a new layer, we'll make this red, and we'll call that bevel. Say OK. Now them are all my bevels. Right now, I don't need those right now to look at, so what I will do is come up here and turn off my layer bevel, so I don't have to look at it. Now, the other thing that I have to do from this side is I got to cut out the profile all the way around here. And that's pretty easy to do because we got everything here already. So all we're going to do is take our cutting tool, our scissors, and get rid of all the inside stuff. So all we have left is the outside, I think. Yes. Let's get rid of this guy here because he's confusing things. So what we're going to call this is our profile. We're going to move him to another layer. A new layer. We'll call it profile. And we will make him blue. So that's our profile right there. And we'll cut that out with our 1/4 inch profile bit. Here's our angled cuts. Remember, this doesn't get cut at an angle because it's going to fold over and it'll be on the front right here. Okay, we get this guy cut as an angle. Got this guy, this guy, this guy. Looks pretty good to me. So now what we're ready for is our toolpath. And toolpaths on this are pretty easy. They're profiles. So we're going to sit there and do our V-cuts first. So let's highlight all of our V-cuts. And we're going to come here and select our 90-degree bit. Say OK. We want this to just not quite go all the way through. So what we're going to do is put the depth, instead of a 1/2 inch, I'm going to put it 0.49. Okay, so that'll leave about 0.010 of an inch. We want to go on our lines. Okay. And the other thing, let's look at this. I want the pass depth to be a lot shallower than that. I want my pass depth to be like 0.125. That way it's not going to try to hog it all out at one time. And we'll ramp our moves about a 1/2 inch. And calculate. And you can call this whatever you want to call it. Let's call it box profile. So there's that. And if we preview this toolpath, this is what it's going to do. These will be all the places where our box will be folded at. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to do the profile. So let's turn off all the other lines and we will do another one, except this time we're going with a 1/4 inch end mill. Highlight that, plunge ramp it. We want to add tool tabs, so go to edit your tabs. I probably want to put about 4 of them on there. Add the tabs, close out. Everything looks pretty good. Box outside profile. Now this one here, we don't want it on. We want it to the outside because we want our bit to cut on the outside of it. Hit calculate and preview the toolpath. What did I do wrong? Oh, we want to go through about 51. Calculate it. We know it's going to go through. We want it to. Preview it. There it goes. Cuts all the way around. Okay? See? And it should left tabs in it too. There's the tabs. So there's our box already cut out. All we got to do is take it over and cut it out. Go to the other side. We only have one thing to do on this side, and that's to pocket out all these pockets. So what we're going to do is go to a pocketing toolpath. We're going to go down about 1/8 of an inch because we're going to use 1/4 inch pieces as our locks. 1/4 inch end mills just fine. Offset is just fine. And we will put alignment pockets. Okay, and say calculate. Preview that, and what it does is just cut the pockets out, which is what we want. One last thing that we have to do is we have to transfer these here to the other side so we can drill the holes. So what we're going to do is use a 1/4 inch, and we're going to make, this will be the spoil board. So we have somewhere to put our pins when we flip it. Let's make it go down 1/4 of an inch. And everything else looks okay. So we're all done. Completed with this. So that's how you go about making this box. So save it. There's new router bit. I'm going to just put new router bit box and save it. The last thing we're going to do here is open a new file, and this particular file here, this gets to be 10 by 6. This is the insert. Single-sided. Say okay. Now the thing with this one here is that we're going to make we're going to make holes in it. So I don't want to set and have to go and, you know, make a whole bunch of little holes by themselves and then try to get them right. So what you do is you use a thing that we call an array. So the first thing I need to do is have something to make the array from. And since we are using 1/4 inch bits and 1/2 inch bits, this here I want to put it about 10 thousandths under, so I'm going to put a 0.24 for this particular hole. Now, this is going to be the one that the array starts at. So you don't want it absolutely in the corner like that. So we're going to put it right here. Then you come down to this guy here. It says array copy. And what you can do is create different linear arrays. Remember how I did it with the box? We're going to do kind of the same thing here. How many do I want to go across? Well, I want to put them probably about 1 inch apart. So I would say we're probably going to have probably 4 or 5 columns. And probably at least that many rows. So we'll go 7 rows and 5 columns. And we want to put them 1 inch apart both directions. So that's what this gap is that there'll be a gap between each hole that's 1 inch. And that didn't turn out too awfully bad. I'm pretty good with that. Now you can put them closer together if you want. So let's see what they look like closer together. You get more in there. So let's make this 3/4 by 3/4. Copy it across. Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. So that looks pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with that. So we can center these now. to top to bottom to make them look nice and pretty. So the next one I want to do is a 1/2 inch hole for my 1/2 inch router bits. So I'm going to put him down here somewhere, and we're going to make him 4/9. Apply him, close, and that doesn't look too terrible bad. I want to bring it over just a little bit, like that. I like that better. Now come down to array. Now the array might not work exactly right on this one because it's a bigger bit, but we can try it. We're one row too many, I think. Yep. So we would want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4. So we can bring this one down to 5, this one down to 4, undo it, and do it again. I kind of like that. That works pretty good. Close it. You notice that we have a whole bunch of them up here. I'll just get rid of them. So, and quite honestly, if I want to move these over as a group, I can. Nothing saying that I can't. And I can move them over to where looks more pleasant to me like that. And it looks like they're pretty much in the center, but we can make sure. Voila, there you go. Now, how do you toolpath this? It's just pockets, that's all it is. Come over here to toolpath, go up here, and we can sit there and copy them all. Make them pockets. Can't use a 1/4 inch end mill because these are too small. But we have a 3/16 here, I believe. Nope. I have a 3/16 end mill. And or you can use an 1/8 inch. We'll just go with the 1/8 inch because that's what's here. I don't feel like making a tool. Use the 1/8 inch. It makes 2 passes to go a 1/4 inch deep. I would go a 1/2 inch. You don't have to go that deep, but that's what I'm doing. And what I would call this is insert pockets. Calculate, preview it, and you're probably wondering why it went all the way through. I think I made my material 1/2 inch instead of making it 1 inch. Let's go check to be sure. Yeah, it's supposed to be 1 inch material. It's a 1 inch foam that I got the foam from a big box store, and basically it was a gardening knee support. Now it works right. Okay, everything looks good. The next thing you would do is come in here and save your toolpath. Again, make sure this is your machine. If not, you're going to get some really strange differences. Come over here and then save it. Save your progress. I'm going to call this a new insert. Save it. All done. Well, thank you for watching this episode of CNC WorkBench. Again, make sure you support all of our great sponsors: Ken Craft Company, the Woodworkers Candy Store, Next Wave Automation, the makers of Shark and Piranha CNC machines, Crystalac Finishes, and Silverback Woodworking. Hope you go on to watch the machining and finishing videos, and there should be a write-up on the website as an article. So, see you next month.